In this video, we're going to look at why an infinite geometric sum can actually make sense and not be equal to infinity. So we're going to start by looking at the following. Suppose you have a square, and suppose each side of the square is 4 inches long. So that means the area of this square is 4 times 4, or 16 square inches. Now, imagine that you're painting this square, and let's say you paint it in the following way. First, you paint half of it. Since you painted half of it, the area that you painted is 8 square inches. Now, let's say the next thing you do is paint half of the remaining part. Okay, that is 1/4 of the entire square, and so that is 4 square inches, or it's half the area of the previous one. Now let's say you paint half of the remaining area there. So now we're going to paint that. The area of that is 2 square inches, because it's half the size of the previous one. And now we're going to paint, I won't do this forever, I promise, we're going to paint half the remaining area. That's going to be 1 square inch. Let's do at least one more. We'll paint half that remaining area. So the area of the part we just painted was half a square inch. If you think about it, if we keep doing this forever, we keep dividing it into 2 parts and painting half of it, then dividing into 2 parts and painting half of it, and so on and so on and so on, we'll go forever. Because it will just continue dividing each remaining portion in half. You'll paint half of that, but you still have a little portion to paint. So you'll go on forever here. So if we do this sum forever, then we'll basically finish painting this original square. Now, we know the area of the original square is 16 square inches, so this sum must end up being equal to 16. If you add up all those areas together, you will get 16. So that is how an infinite sum can be that. Now, this is a geometric series here, because if you multiply by a half, that gives you the next term. If you multiply by a half, that gives you the next term. So it is geometric. The r is 1/2. The first term is 8. And if you look at the formula for the sum of this infinite series is a sub 1 over 1 minus r. So it is 8 over 1 minus a half, which means it is 8 over 1/2. 8 over 1/2 is 8 divided by a half, which means it's 8 times 2 over 1, and sure enough, it's the 16 that we would expect. So yes, you can have a sum that is infinitely long that does not end up adding to infinity. And the key reason that happens is because the numbers you're adding are getting smaller and smaller and smaller as you go along. They're kind of filling in a tiny, tiny, tiny little spot and making that happen. So that is how this can happen, and that's the end of this recording.